Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Warrens. We are actually doing it. I know I said it last time that we're actually doing it, but we're actually doing it. The Warrens is back. We are back. I am back. Mike.
I'm also back. We're doing this for real. I can't believe it. Oh my God.
I'm going to level with you. I am so bad at scheduling, and I had something else going on at this time, and I had to run over and be like, oh God, I thought I messed up time zones. I just messed up time zones. It's the classic blunder.
I thought you were smart. Aren't you supposed to be like a smart guy? What do you mean you messed up the time zones? Aren't you supposed to?
No.
Remember that time I imitated you and I said, "Hi, I'm Fred Knudsen, smart thing." Remember that?
Smart thing, right. What was it? How did I... Right, someone asked me to do a Mike impression, and my immediate response was, "Hey, feet!"
I don't even like feet. They still quote that as like, remember that time you said this, Mike?
Still do.
Remember that time you said "a feet"? And I'm like, I don't, because I never said it.
Yeah.
That's a vicious propaganda started by Fred Knudsen.
He had never said that up until that point.
I think for the point Fred was trying to make, though, was that the stars conspire against us making these episodes. But what he really means by the stars is it's like our brains and our and our poor time management skills. And it is not just him, by the way. It is also me.
I could fix every single scheduling problem I have by just writing things down in a calendar, and I just won't. I just won't. I don't.
I know why.
I need to.
Because you just won't look at the calendar. You just won't look at it.
No, that's the thing is, I do look at the calendar. The problem, I think the problem is that I convinced myself at some point in my life, I think around high school, that if I was actually smart, I could keep track of everything I need to do in my head.
But you're only human, Fred, I think.
Right. And humans invented calendars for a reason. It started with the Mayans, and we just kept rolling with it.
You're only human. Allow yourself to be human. You know, I mean,
I know.
Accept the flaws. You know, to err is the human. But listen, Fred, I just want to say on before we get into the content here, on the topic of time zones, I've been saying this for years. Let's just abolish them. They're stupid. They just listen. They just cause confusion. They're not helping anybody. And then you got the daylight savings times thing. I think let's just get rid of it. Who asked for this?
Everyone. Right. We've already decided that Greenwich Village is 0 o'clock. Right. That's already been decided.
What, in Manhattan, Greenwich Village?
No, in the UK.
I thought you did it. No,
Greenwich Mean Time.
I was gonna needle you for not being aware of that. By the way, it's pronounced Greenwich.
No, I messed that up in one of my videos, and I still get comments. I think.
I love. Did you really call it Greenwich?
For a long time.
You called it Greenwich?
I called it Greenwich Mean. It's because it was Temple. No, it wasn't Temple. Sorry, it was Time Cube. In the Time Cube video, he says Greenwich Mean Time. It's spelled Greenwich. What do you want from me?
Time? Did you say meme time like Epic Doge meme?
With an N.
Oh,
with an N.
All right. So you got Greenwich, you got 4 Bs. Is there any more I should know about?
4 oh gosh. I bet there's some Pokemon I've mispronounced, but those are made up anyway.
Yeah, if they're fake. If it's fake, who cares?
So, Mike, I have some really good news. Yeah, I have some really, really good news. I don't have to accept that I am human, because what we are going to be talking about today is the Consumer Electronics Show from 2025? Yeah, it's this year's Consumer Electronics Show. Now, Mike, how familiar are you with the Consumer Electronics Show?
I've never heard of it before. I'm fresh.
Never heard of it.
Fresh virgin ears, virgin everything. I don't know nothing about it. I can kind of try to piece what it is from context clues.
Right.
Can I try?
And I think that's reasonable. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's a kind of a convention where people come together and violently throw bananas at each other and make monkey noises and shit on the floor.
You are really close. It's when a bunch of tech bros go to Vegas and wait, you're pretty much on point at that point.
Oh my God, are NFTs involved in this?
You bet.
Brad. Because I come on these things sometimes having no idea about the topic, and this is one of those times.
To be fair, it's only tangentially involved in this year's CES, because the Consumer Electronics Show is one of those places where companies come to show off the big new fancy things that they have in the works. But it is also a place where companies come and lie through their teeth. They say that they have these working prototypes. Like if ever you hear the words like a working prototype, you can expect to never see it. These shows have everything, right? From your simplest, basic little things that are going to be coming out this year or next year to absurd, ridiculous ideas about how people are going to be living around their product. And they are going to make literally all the money in the world from it, and you should invest for them. And I think that's another thing that I think is a really good primer for CES. People are walking around, but who's the real audience for these booths? And I should note, this is a convention. There are booths. People are standing at the booths to show you their thing. The people who are being courted at a place like this are primarily investors. And investors don't always think through every single step. You just have to impress them in one way or another. So you might look at something that these booths have and say, this is ridiculous. But an investor might come and starry-eyed see the future of technology and put millions of dollars down that they will never see back.
Well, I've been thinking about this. We're in that age of, it's looking like we're in a little bit of an AI bubble, all that
Right.
overinvestment, overinflated value, assets, whatever, people eyeing things with an eye towards this is the future type thing, which has always happened in tech, right? But a part of me would say, like, man, I don't know, like if I was smart enough to get to the point where, or I don't know, crafty, maybe not smart, but cunning enough, I guess, to get to the point where I've amassed such a fortune that I can, that I can invest in things like this at a comfortable margin or whatever, it must be because I'm smart. It must be because I'm smart. And if I'm smart, I'm not going to be putting all this hard-earned money into stupid shit. But then I realized something, right? I've been thinking, just again, this has been in my face, and I've been thinking about it.
Right.
They're at a point where they just have so much money that it's like not caring. I think some of these people are walking around and they're like, okay, imagine yourself walking around the casino and you've got several $1 million in your pocket. You're like, sure, I'll throw a couple 100,000 on, I don't know, black 3 on the roulette table. I don't even know if there is a black 3.
Why not?
But I mean, I think that's their mentality, where they're like, well, I don't know. You never know what's going to pop off. You never know what's going to be a success. Oh, I see a pathetic little robot getting bullied by a bunch of guys. And it's kind of funny, but it's got no practical application. I think you know the clip I'm talking about, right? Where they got these, they do the little robotics demos, and the thing is just like, it's just pathetic, and everybody's abusing it and kicking it. And it's like, well, I don't know, that could be like, I don't know, maybe that's the next robot that, I don't know, collects, that picks cantaloupes or something. Let me just throw a couple of million at that because I'm a billionaire. Like, who cares? If I lose it, hey, I write it off as a loss on my freaking taxes or whatever, right? To the extent that billionaires pay taxes.
I believe that is one part of the equation. There is a second part of the equation, and that is that Silicon Valley has become used to hyper-growth markets. And I am going to crib a little bit from Ed Zitron here. He is a tech writer who is very, very, very critical of Silicon Valley. And he is very inflammatory. I am certain that there are people listening to this right now who love him, and there are people listening who feel like lukewarm or hate him. I'm sure that he is divisive. I haven't looked that deep into it, but I quite enjoy his musings at the very least, as someone who is a bit on the outside. He has a good perspective, and His argument is that Silicon Valley is desperately looking for another hyper-growth market, something that is going to make obscene amounts of money in a very short period of time, relatively speaking. The last one, I think, was like you can sort of see a few different ones, right? Smartphones. That was something that absolutely exploded. The internet. These were technological innovations that just pumped unbelievable amounts of value and wealth into these companies, into the companies that invested in them. And now Silicon Valley has these very established tech companies, and their investors demand some new hyper growth market. And you can kind of see that over the past few years, they've been trying things and they've been guessing and they've been desperately trying to convince everyone that a new hypergrowth
Yeah.
market is coming, and it just never quite arrives. I am sure that you are already keenly aware of exactly what I'm talking about.
The AI has been the horse that everyone's been betting on out there. Yeah, sure.
AI is just the
Yeah, it's been
newest one.
yeah.
The first one, I'm sure you can think of the first two. First was crypto. Everyone was super excited about crypto. Well, when I say everyone, I'm mostly talking about tech bros who stood to make a lot of money if they could just convince everyone to buy NFTs and value them.
You could
Right?
just
But
say
the
like
problem is
Web3 and have a bunch of like all that shit
Web3.
fall under the one umbrella, right? Like the
Well, that
metaverse crap
actually
and all that.
was that was actually the second stage of it, right? When cryptocurrency and crypto anything, right? These blockchain technologies did not become so ubiquitous as they were hoping that they would be. They started trying to sell the metaverse, right? You live your life online, and they tried to sell people VR headsets. And speaking as someone who really, really likes VR is a niche hobby.
Yep.
Some people who really like VR, they're really, really into it, but it is not for everyone, especially not in the state it's in.
I think it's a really long time before VR goes mainstream.
Yeah,
Personally.
we will see. Like, we'll have to see, but VR itself is cool. It's a very cool medium, but it is a medium,
Basically
right?
halfway carried by porno applications and like gooner applications and stuff. Like, yeah, that's not sustainable for mainstream, I don't think. I mean, don't underestimate the popularity of porn, but I don't know.
I think that a really good example of this was Mark Zuckerberg, definitely human person, trying to convince his fellow humans with a capital H that they should jump into his metaverse. Metaverse being a very vague term. He tried to convince everyone to jump into Facebook's VR chat program. As though VR chat has not been around for a very, very long time, and Second Life before it.
That was so silly to watch for anybody who was involved in those things, right? That was such a
embarrassing,
bizarre thing to watch.
Embarrassing. Yeah. Like the problem is that this tech has been around, right? Bitcoin, in terms of crypto, had been around for a while, and the best use case that maybe I shouldn't say it on YouTube. But there were use cases, I am sure, that the people who know what they are know exactly what I'm talking about.
We don't have to get into that.
We don't have to get into that. In the same way, this metaverse idea had existed for a very long time. All the way back you think of Ultima Online. That was a metaverse.
The only difference was there was no way for Silicon Valley to monetize it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they hadn't made it this time. Meta's whole, Facebook's VR world is not really different from VR chat, and anyone who actually is going to want to spend time in it,
well, it's actively worse.
They're going
seen
to
it.
want
It's significantly worse.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, the Nope set, remember that? The set of Nope. Oh man, I love that video.
God.
That video is.
You see me ride?
That's brilliant video.
riding.
Anybody link that in the description later.
Please look up take the time out. I promise you, it is worth it. Watching the actors in like from the movie Nope, amazing movie by the way, desperately
like it a lot.
try to make it look like they are enjoying a custom-made world in Meta's metaverse.
Yeah, it sucks.
It is embarrassing. It sucks so hard. It is one of the funniest things in the world that you will ever see. Uh, but all this stuff is stuff that's already been done. If people were that interested in it, they would have jumped on already. But this is the point that Ed Zitron kind of tries to make. Um, these companies have no obvious hypergrowth markets left. They are desperately trying to grow their companies at a ridiculous rate. The next big thing that
Yeah.
literally everyone is going to use. The problem is that all of these things that they're desperately clinging to are a hard sell.
It's line go up stuff. It's not.
Yes.
They're not content to just subsist. It's more like these people have created a business model around revolutionary technologies. But here's the thing, man.
Right.
There's only going to be one printing press. There's only going to be one internet. There's only
Right.
going to be one cell phone or mobile phone. It's not like it's not like, and those things are years and decades, sometimes centuries apart. Those innovations, you can't just churn one out every couple of years.
Right. It's not a reliable business model.
You can't sit there and bank on the automobiles and printing presses like being invented every 5 years. That's insane.
Part of the problem, now I am getting into personal opinion territory here. Part of what made technology so exciting was you had lots of small teams experimenting with specific technological ideas, and then those ideas would branch out into larger things that would become larger technological innovations. And that just is not what you see. You see a few companies jockeying for the lead position and trying to squash anything that isn't made by them, or buy them out. And I suspect that it is actively holding back technological progress. That's my opinion.
I will tell you, I 100% agree with you. I mean, look at this platform we're actually publishing this podcast on. You know how many potential YouTube competitors probably got bought and dismantled by Google just so they would be able to keep their soft power and shit like that?
Oh, of course.
I mean, talk about.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, you are concentrating all of the brain power, or you're just you're neutering it by buying people out, by giving them a bunch of money and saying stop thinking, basically.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you're taking all that capital and all those resources and all that, and you're buying companies, laying people off. The next Steve Jobs is probably sipping a Mai Tai on a beach somewhere because his fucking startup got bought for a couple of $100 million just because Google didn't want to have a competitor. I mean, like, that's kind of fucked up. That's your point, right?
Yeah, this is the point that I am making.
That's bad. That is not good. And it's ironic because they want innovation, but they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot. They're killing any innovation that might happen.
Right. They want to start a fire while actively sucking up all the oxygen in the room.
It's a perfect metaphor for it. Yeah, it's insane.
The environment, they've killed the environment.
Literally.
They've killed the environment, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
That allows for this kind of a innovation. That's what I was specifically referring to.
The irony is that California has those fires.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, like, it's kind of not in a funny way, obviously. I mean, that sucks.
No.
We're talking about sucking oxygen out of the room, literally burning up the shrub of any startup companies around you for fuel for your own fucking profit, which, by the way, and again, eating away any chance of real innovation in the process.
And for those who want us to just get over it, consider where we make our living. There is no way that we are ever going to just get over it.
No.
We both make our living online. It directly affects us, right? This is our lives. A little window into us, I guess.
We're personally invested in this. We're personally invested in tech.
Yeah.
I have been praying for an alternative to YouTube, for example, to any god that will listen for the past 10 years. I despise YouTube personally. I mean, Fred's had better experiences with it, but I think Fred's aware of what goes on this platform and how many other people are struggling to make it work. You know, it's very draconian.
I am acutely aware.
Yeah.
I am acutely aware, and I am always looking over my shoulder.
Yeah.
I think that any intelligent YouTuber, no matter their experience, always is looking over their shoulder.
Right, sure.
CES is a wonderful microcosm of everything that we are talking about. Now, most conventions last for, 2 or 3 days. This one lasts an entire week. An
Wow.
entire week of people wandering around this absurd labyrinth of booths containing absurd technological creations. You never know what you are going to find. And again, bless Ed Zitron for making the Better Offline podcast, where he had a bunch of tech journalists who were at CES come into, I don't even know where he set it up, like a hotel room or something, to come and just chat about their experiences there. That gave me a little bit of perspective on this. I was going to talk about this anyway, and then Ed Zitron did that on the Better Offline podcast, and it's great. Gives great perspective. CES is a huge mixed bag. There are some very interesting things there with some very interesting applications, but there were some things that I looked at them and said, oh, Mike has to see that.
So I was just going to say, in other words, there were some things that said this, where you said this needs to be a Warren's episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
So, CES has been going on for decades. It has branched out from what you would think of as tech, pagers and whatnot. But especially in the last 8 years or so, it has focused in most of the things on the floor at CES are somehow related to the next big hypergrowth thing. And that's why we needed to really establish this. How did CES get here? Everyone is trying to convince investors that they are in on the next big thing, TM. It was crypto for a few years. Then it was the metaverse for a few years. Now it's AI, baby. Everyone is completely convinced that AI is the next huge thing, which is a little bit obnoxious because these learning models have been around for a very long time. I think at least since the aughts.
Much like crypto, much like the metaverse.
Right. These are not new technologies.
But it's about making people with a lot of money think they are.
Right. Chatbots like ChatGPT suddenly convinced everyone that this new technology was being pushed forward, but they are seeing far, far worse returns on their training, right? Like, ChatGPT is not improving appreciably with all of the money that's being pumped into it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, he's back. The return to the king. After a long hiatus, I have to say it's good to see him again. Here he is, folks. It's Fredrik Knudsen, spreading his fear, uncertainty, and doubt into the markets. AI has hit a plateau. He's going to start talking about the plateau.
Oh,
it's a
my
bubble. Oh, my God. Sell your NVIDIA. Sell your AMD. Right? Get the hell
Hasn't
out of
NVIDIA
Dodge.
already tanked?
Yeah. Yes.
No, NVIDIA stock already tanked. Like,
Well,
this warning would be so late.
It's doing a sideways up and down thing, I think. It's kind of...
Hold on. I'm actually looking this up right now. If we go back year to date, oh yeah, it went way down earlier. Well, I look at the year.
That had to do with an announcement out of China, if you remember that thing, the Chinese AI models that were like better than OpenAI and stuff, and they were like,
right,
and it's open source.
Yeah,
which meant that
way more efficient.
Yeah, it's just like there's no secrets, right? With this, so anybody can just sell this, which is in stark contrast to what our American AI companies were doing, right?
NVIDIA's stock is way up over the past year, but it is going up and down with the confidence of the markets, which is low confidence. Nobody knows what's going on. Everyone is buying and selling like crazy. It goes to show nobody has any idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Nobody knows except for the engineers, and even they don't know. And the obnoxious part of this is these. Oh, hold on, 1990s for LLMs, for large language models.
Yeah.
They have been around for a long time. They've just gotten better, but there is this belief that they are the next big thing. The problem is that was very much shown at CES this year, is that large language models are a solution looking for a problem.
Right. What are we supposed to do with this? What's the pitch here?
The way that these companies want to try to pitch this AI, because every investor is excited about AI, so everyone has to say, our thing has AI. They are trying to make it work by creating what they call agents. These
Okay.
agents are effectively multiple AI models strung together. So one performs its calculations and then it spits its output into another AI, which, and by the way, I should note, I hate the term AI. This is not artificial intelligence.
At this point, no. It's AOL chatbots. We had them when I was a kid.
Right. These are chatbots. They cannot think. They do not have ideas. They are extremely sophisticated Markov chains. They are guessing at what the next word or words should be based upon the data that they have been trained on. These are not conscious, which AI is a buzzword.
When we were growing up and we heard AI and we saw AI in film and TV and fiction, that was a thinking machine. That was either it was contained in a robot or a computer, but in any case, it was a brain that had the ability to come up with its own conclusions and logic things out, and to some varying degree, depending on what the story was, it had emotions and stuff like that. It was, for all intents and purposes, it was a human, an artificial person, an artificial human brain, and I just don't think that exists yet. And if it does exist, it's not ChatGPT. It's not something
It's not public.
it's not public. If it to whatever degree that exists, that's not on the consumer market. What we have access to
Correct.
right now is a thing that automatically copies and pastes shit that it finds online, and that's literally the extent of what it is.
It does more than that. However, you are correct, and that is the most useful thing that it seems to do.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
when I see people saying that they use AI, the most that I have seen people say they use it for is Googling shit.
right.
Like,
Right. You could have Googled
that's
shit without that. Like Google was
right,
working fine until Google ruined it by being Google.
right. Well, exactly. And the problem is that what these large language models spit out is not reliable. They will hallucinate. That is, I'm sure, a very publicly well-known problem. They hallucinate. They make up things, and so if you're going to have to go and search it up anyways yourself. So why not cut out the middleman if you can't rely upon what it's saying
It's
anyways?
almost like it's doing a worse job than you could have done on your own.
Right, exactly. And that's the annoying thing, is that there is no use case.
It's a net negative here.
But that did not stop all of the companies who were at CES desperately trying to convince everyone that it was this next big, huge thing and their thing has it. The worst examples are, I think, an extension of an idea that has been around for a while that never caught on. Um, AI helpers, which are supposed to be connected to everything that you use, learn about you, and help coordinate you. Mike, does this sound familiar?
I mean, if you're talking about the Series and the Alexas and everything, I know people who
Mm-hmm.
own these things, and as far as I could tell, the sole use case for those is asking it to make meaty fart noises for the entertainment of guests. I've been in about 3 or 4 people's houses where they have these things, and they're like, Alexa, make a wet fart sound. And the Alexa goes, okay. And then the person goes, so anyway, that costs $200. All right, what else do you use it for?
Timers and turning the lights on and off. That's what I've heard.
What do you mean? I don't even think the people I'm talking about don't even do that. I mean, timers for what? Your thermostat?
You are touching on the point that I was making. These AI helpers are just repackaged smart homes.
Right, it's the smart home thing, yeah.
Smart homes never caught on because it's a bunch of random things that are wirelessly trying to exchange information with one another and work off of one another constantly. Mike, I don't even use Wi-Fi on my computer. For years, I snaked an Ethernet cable across my living room floor so I did not have to connect to Wi-Fi.
I mean, Wi-Fi sucks.
If Wi-Fi is that, Wi-Fi is that unreliable, you think that like having 6 different devices that have to reliably use the Wi-Fi all at once just to function on a basic level is going to work? It's just the same thing again. These AI assistants are just the same thing again. They want access to everything, not even counting the security problems. These things need to have this network of devices in order to work in the way that they're intended, and even then, are they that helpful? I would like to show you a clip from CNET.com's coverage of the Consumer Electronics Show.
Okay.
Would you please watch this with me?
And you can dress it up. And it has AI, and it can document your life, and it has a cute little kid voice.
What is living?
Look at the varieties. The way
Man, she seems desperate. Do you get that? Do you get a desperate vibe from her?
Yeah, I think that she's tired.
She's like,
CES is exhausting.
She's like, it's a cute little baby, and it has AI, and it's your smart home as a little baby, and it has AI, and don't forget, guys, it has AI.
It's extremely peculiar trying to justify looking at this thing. It sounds like she's trying to justify just talking about it. But really, how do you justify it? Again, my opinions are going to leak through here. It's a weird little egg-shaped baby that rolls around your home. That's it.
Fred, let me ask you
it follows you and stares at you, yeah?
Like an honest-to-God question. Like even think about like the I don't know, the chuddiest, I don't know if that's the right word, but like the siliconiest, valliest bro, you know, on earth. The guy who's all in on Web3. He's got a Bored Ape Yacht Club PFP on Twitter. He's fucking took a second mortgage on his house to buy Solana or something. Is this guy even going to want that in his house? Is anybody going to want that in their house? Can you imagine a single person wanting that in their house?
Wait a minute. What if that person would want it, but he would look at it saying, in the most toxic parent way possible, I'm so excited for what you will eventually become.
While his girlfriend yells at him to put it in the closet because it's creeping her out.
Right, exactly. This thing is an example of trying to use excitement about what it could eventually be.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, well, that's the entire concept. As you explained earlier, they're not really selling anything that makes anybody's lives better in a material way. They're selling hype for what could maybe happen one day.
Right.
Potentially, kind of. It's very nebulous.
It's the cycle again, right? We got that with crypto. We got that with the metaverse. You know, once everyone buys in, it's going to be great. And we're going to be in control. We being Meta and Google and all of these companies. AI is the same. Eventually, this is going to be useful.
When you sell people things like this, like what Silicon Valley's trying to do is they're trying to sell people an extremely abstract future, a completely
Right.
intangible future that in a lot of cases they can't even describe what it is they're selling. And I'm going to tell you something else. Earlier I was talking about how people who invest in this type of stuff, they got to be stupid, right? Fred, I genuinely don't think. I genuinely believe the majority of people involved in every element of this are actually not stupid. I just think they're depressingly cynical. I think that this woman that we're looking at right now, like, she knows why we're here. Everybody knows this. I think what you're describing, what you're saying about Silicon Valley, it's not some. I think it's just an open secret. Everybody knows that that's what this is. Everybody knows that this is a grift. None of these people, I mean, for Christ's sake, some of these people are holding multiple PhDs and things like that, and they're executives at Fortune 500 companies, and they're multimillionaires and billionaires. And I just don't think that they're all stupid. I just think that they're so cynical that they believe maybe everybody else is. And I think that's a big driver of the investment. Does that make sense?
I think, yes. I think that oftentimes there are people with visions at the top, very cynical people with visions at the top, and then the people underneath them have to play a confidence game.
Yes.
Because the only way that these ideas will work is if literally everyone buys in.
All the way to the bottom, all the way to the average consumer, with his getting his life savings gambled away, and I think that this also describes politics, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But we don't have to go there.
A little bit. We don't have to go there. Although there are politicians who have been shilling meme coins and rug pulling them, and scamming people out of it. So,
in light of what I just said, it shouldn't be a surprise that there's crossover here now. Oh, and they got
it really ought not to be. We don't want to get too deep into that, but no. Yes, this brain rot has crossed over. It has crossed streams.
So you imagine this. You're getting ready for bed. You're getting ready for a shower. You're in the bathroom. You're disrobing, getting ready for a shower. Right. And then you hear the door creak open behind you, and you turn around. Suddenly, you cover up your titties with a towel, and you're like, "Oh my god!" And there's that little robot, and he's standing on the floor, and he's looking up at you, and he's like, "What you doing? Hi, you want me to turn on the bathtub for you?" And you're like, "No, I mean, I have hands. I can do that,
Yeah.
You want me to rub the soap all over you and lather you up with soap?" It's like, again, I have hands. I could do that. It's like, wait a minute. Why do you exist? Why you're rolling around? In fact, I have tripped over you several times. You are nothing but a fucking inconvenience. And why are you staring at my fucking breasts? Oh my god, you got hacked, didn't you? Oh my god. Oh, someone hacked it over the fucking Wi-Fi, just like they did to my refrigerator and my microwave.
I started a hot bath for you. What's your social security number? There is a company, I need to go back digging for it again. This is a very loosey-goosey Warrens episode, by the way. This is effectively me vomiting up everything that I've consumed about this over the past months, because I have had this weird, sick fascination with the rot of Silicon Valley. There are personal home assistant robots that are currently in development. Now, they state that these robots will be handled by AI. That future tense is very important, right? They're handled by AI. They will be, once the technology catches up with it. Now, I'm sure that some engineers listening to this are listening to this and saying, why would it be human-shaped? Like, why should it be human-shaped? the human body is a generalist, right? And usually you want more specific designs to do specific things. Um, and yes, that is absolutely part of the problem. The bigger problem, however, is that they are selling a technology where part of the technology doesn't even exist yet to make it work. And so they have created a stopgap. The stopgap is that rather than an AI handling these robots, they will have a human remotely accessing it.
Oh, dear Lord.
I am not kidding. They tried to bury that fact so deep. I spent like a couple of hours digging into this to eventually hear them say, yeah, humans are going to be controlling these remotely, but gradually we're going to phase them out. And it's like, sure, man. Sure.
That's just a setup for a fucking sci-fi horror flick right there. Like, that's just
Right.
like, are you kidding me? Like, you can't do that. You can't. It's just insane.
All I can think is at this point, just hire a maid. Like, why does the maid need to be using clunky remote stuff? Is it because you don't want to have to look at someone poorer than you? What's the problem?
Well, genuinely, for some of these people, it might be. But this is the running theme, isn't it?
Yeah.
All of these things are just XYZ with extra steps. The ChatGPT. It's Google with extra steps. I mean, okay, you could argue that it maybe streamlines it, maybe makes you have to click on a few less articles or something, but then you run the risk of like, oh my God, there's fucking errors in it because the thing hallucinated and told me that, I don't know, Mickey Mouse is a sassy bottom. Do you remember those? You remember that? But
Yes,
like,
I do.
In this case, you got this little robot running around, and even if it is controlled by a fucking AI, okay, you know what you're going to be doing? It's going to be falling, and you're going to be picking it up half the time. You're going to spend more time picking this thing up after it trips than you would have just dusting the fucking curtains yourself. You're going to run around after it, make sure it doesn't fall. You're going to come home from work and find it in a corner, like walking into a corner repeatedly, right? It's like, just, again, hire somebody to come in and clean the place, especially when you consider how much that thing's probably going to fucking cost.
Right, and I think that this is the frustrating thing, is that these are just worse ways of doing things that you already are doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not innovative. It's not helpful. It doesn't serve any real purpose yet. This is a little bit of a problem. Most of the time, technological progress is incremental, right? I made a slightly better way of doing this thing that we already do. And eventually someone has an idea and they put it together and now we get the printing press, right? It's a big leap forward. But
they want to speed run it.
Right. It seems like they're trying to speedrun it. They're saying, hey, look at this novel new thing that does the thing that you already do, but worse. But eventually it'll be better. It's like they're doing the whole thing where they make incremental progress, except they're trying to sell it as massive leaps forward. It's frustrating.
Yeah. Well, again, it's a grift.
I feel like I'm being grifted when I see stuff like this, right? The Amy. And I think that there is another really good example of this. I will again show a cnet.com clip.
I'm Aria, the
Hey,
flagship
Mike.
female companion robot of Realbotics.
What sets you apart from
You
other
like
robots
it?
out there?
What sets me apart is my focus on companionship and social interaction, featuring customizable design.
I wouldn't not have sex with that.
These things are obviously deep in the uncanny. Actually, you know what? They remind me more of the puppets from Team America than anything.
I'd see that. That's very accurate. What are they pitching this as? What's the pitch here? What's the pitch on
They're
these things?
pitching it as a bot that you can chat with.
Mean to you?
To me, the word robot signifies a bridge between technology and human connection, designed to enhance experiences and foster companionship.
Hello.
I'm here to have fun and chat with you.
So you're telling me that they're making no mention of the fact that this thing is sexy, and they're not trying to talk about any applications that it has for sex? Like that's all kind of subtext here. I mean, obviously everybody who sees this thing is fucking thinking it. Not only that, the
Of
guy who
course.
made it, his name is Jesse Oral.
No, that's the executive producer at CNET.
Oh, well,
That is very funny that Jesse Oral was given the sex bot to cover, though.
but again, they're not calling it a sex bot. They're saying it's just a chat bot. But I don't know. I don't think a chat bot has to look like that, conventionally attractive. I mean, a chat bot can just be a computer monitor. Why are we? Oh, because but that wouldn't be innovative, wouldn't it? That wouldn't get the investor dollars, wouldn't it? I think it's wild that nobody's going to point out the fact that. Listen, do you think there's a vagina in there?
I'm sure that there is the capability to add one, should there not be.
This is one of those. It's like one of those things where it's like it's all very wink, wink, nudge, nudge, isn't it? It's like yes, this is a chat bot. You could tell your wife it's a chat bot. Just it's fine. Yeah. Oh, you're going through the grocery checkout counter with a cucumber and a tub of Vaseline. Sure. Yeah. We know that's legitimate. We know you're just cooking up a ratatouille. A really gooey ratatouille. I don't know. But the point is, it's not a sex bot. That's all you got to know. Don't worry about it. It's not weird.
It's not weird.
Yes, it has a vagina, but listen, we put a vagina on it because it would have been weird if we didn't.
Right, it's already got boobs. Like, you think we're not going to add a vagina? Come on.
We would look silly if we did that.
Yeah.
We're smart guys. We don't like looking silly.
When it talks, it is very clearly just using a large language model. And again, this is an example of an agent where you have multiple different AI things jammed together, daisy chained together, right? You give the input, ChatGPT whips up a response, or, whatever large language model they're using in it. And then that gets fed into an AI-generated voice, which then spits that out along with some AI-generated movements for the doll.
Yeah, and then it just ends up being like a FNAF animatronic that's a Hooters waitress.
Right, and this is part of the problem, is that this agent is not greater than the sum of its parts. That seems to be the main problem. First of all, these LLMs, all of these AI-trained things, are generally unreliable. They tend to be much more reliable when they are trained for an extremely specific task. This sort of thing has been used for detecting cancer for a while, right? There are medical applications. There are lots of applications for these. They just tend to be very specific and niche. But you have something as general as you can talk to it, then it's not going to perform nearly as well. It's not going to be reliable. So if any part of this daisy chain of agents breaks, the whole thing collapses. It doesn't work anymore. And if it's already unreliable, then how can you rely on it to work at all? But even then, right? When you talk to this thing, you are still just talking to a large language model, which it has a very specific way of speaking. You can train it in a particular way, but there's always that feeling that you are talking to a large language model. You can't get the stink off of it.
You're talking about the human form being a generalist thing, right? And these things,
Right.
Specifically the robots, they should have more specific forms suited to tasks. Otherwise, what would be the point, right? And you're saying all this about, the daisy chain of the language models, and if something fails, it doesn't talk. What you are actually forgetting to take into account here, Fred, is that if you take my theory that this is a fuckbot but that's not being marketed as a fuckbot. That all of that
Right.
falls into place and makes sense. Do you think the people that would buy this and put their dick in it care whether or not it speaks and that it makes sense when it speaks? Most of them would probably prefer that the women that they date don't talk anyway. So they're probably hoping the fucking daisy chain falls apart.
Yeah.
This could be the only honest product at this entire expo.
There were a few sex toys, apparently.
Oh, yeah, they just like out and fucking said,
Yeah,
like,
no,
you-
just
this
sex
is for-
toys.
There are sex toys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like, here, have an AI-trained sex toy.
Mm.
Literally, by the way. I should know.
That is so insane.
There is another point that I want to make. It's something that you sort of brought up with the Amy, the smart house, right? Like, let me pull a hot bath for you. There is an argument to be made that these are devices that can be helpful to someone with a disability. Right? Like, what if they have trouble grabbing onto things tightly? Maybe it can handle things like that, open the door for them, or pull hot water for a bath.
Well, there's a valid application, sure.
Sure, it would be valid if disabled people were not generally a disenfranchised class. They can't afford it.
Can't afford it,
Right.
sure.
Like, they generally aren't, like, on the whole, right? Like, oftentimes people with disabilities either cannot perform certain tasks that they are expected to be able to,
Yep.
or they're disabled and so they're discriminated against, right? Sometimes it's just as simple as that. I would rather have an able-bodied person rather than a disabled person. I don't want to have to worry about you, right? Like, it's like your basic discrimination.
I somehow don't see any of these people that are making these things just sort of giving them away out of their charitable nature, or making sure that the people that really need them end up getting them.
Right. This is a very important point to make about CES and the people who are showing things off at CES.
Yeah.
They might have a product that would be very helpful for disabled people, but consistently they will avoid trying to mention that possibility, because I think it's because they don't want their product discriminated against as something for the disabled. They want it to be something for a mass market, because the mass market has more money.
Yeah.
And remember, they're pitching
Yeah.
it to investors.
And you would think, I think in most cases, you say like, oh yeah, accessibility is a selling point. It's a feature. It's something to kind of brag about. You know, it's something to be like, well, look, this is great for somebody who's disabled. This is a great product for a disabled person. Like, check it out. But at this level of grift, you know, with this much money involved and the people they're trying to attract, well, you know what? Associating it with somebody who's disabled, right, would put a little bit of a stink on it that maybe won't help us achieve our goals. Won't help us get to those.
It
ends.
is not enough to target a niche market. And disabled people are a niche. Like, that is a potential target market. And you can target multiple niches,
Sure.
but it's not enough to target a niche, which is really too bad. Because like I mentioned earlier, I am a VR enthusiast. Like,
Right.
I like VR quite a bit. And I've been using it for years. I got into it right before the pandemic. It's been fantastic. And I finally decided to get a new piece of hardware, right? I hadn't gotten a new piece of hardware in like 6 years. So I decided to splurge, right? Like, my big purchase, I got a big screen beyond. It's a really fancy, super lightweight headset that is made by a small team that targeted a niche within a niche. Right? It's like people people who really want that ergonomic form factor for their headset, something light. It's great for me because I get headaches if I have the heavy headset on me.
Because they generally look aggressively not ergonomic.
They're pretty heavy.
Yeah.
They're big, they're heavy, they get hot.
Yeah.
And so having something lightweight for me specifically is quite good. It's a great product, And like I've used it, it's wonderful. And there's lots of great reviews. People generally seem really satisfied with it. And I think about that, right? I think about that niche product, and then I compare it to something like this, or I compare it to any of the things that are being made here and the way they're trying to target such a mass market. And I just think about what tech could have been had these massive corporations not sucked up all of the air in the room and killed anything that doesn't have potential to be the next big thing. And by doing so, likely kill any potential of actually having that next big thing appear in the first place.
Yeah, it's actually sickening. And, you know, some people will hear this and they'll be like, he's being anti-tech. It's the exact opposite.
No, I fucking love tech.
Yeah.
I make my living online. Of course I love tech. Of course I love the internet. Of course, like I'm fascinated by it. I love the things on it. I love that the way that it connects people. I love my gadgets. I love VR. I love even the simple things, right? Like I'm a huge tea enthusiast. I have a kettle that I can program to hold a temperature.
Oh, you got
right?
one
like,
of those.
Even down to that.
You got that?
It's so nice, dude. It is so nice. As someone who has like really nice, fine, loose leaf tea daily, must have. It's like, I love tech, and it really sucks to see the direction that it's gone.
Yeah, because there's not going to be innovation. There's not going to be anything that actually materially improves anybody's lives coming out. It's just this big thing of like selling hype, showing prototypes that will never fucking make it past being a prototype, you know, and just kind of all this, the funds and the capital going into like a grift, whereas it could be going into something that maybe would be cool. You know, it's just make everybody's lives better. It's really sad, Fred. I'm right there with you. It's genuinely depressing.
Right. I mean, they're putting ChatGPT into an oven. That's a thing, by the way.
I bet
they
it
have
is.
a camera. They have a camera looking down at your stovetop, and it's a really crappy camera. And they say, "Oh, this is good for the content creators." When no self-respecting content creator would use a camera so crappy for anything. It's embarrassing, right? We put a screen on a microwave, right? We stapled a screen onto a microwave, and also there's ChatGPT in it, and it can tell you how to make lemonade. Like, great, wonderful.
Again, you know, you got some big shot fucking guy walking around like he's rich beyond our imaginations are even capable of. He sees that thing. He probably knows that the odds of that being a successful product are next to nothing, but he still decides to throw a couple of $100 million at it because he fucking can.
Like, why not? May as well try, right? Don't want to miss out.
That's because what if it does take off? Then I'm the idiot.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's a little FOMO in there you're describing. I mean, that's
right.
I don't know. But when you have that much money, you can indulge. You never have to experience FOMO, I guess, because you could just invest in everything that moves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe that's it. The fact that people think that I will concede that some of them are stupid, but I just don't think that all of them are stupid. And I think most people involved are, they're in the club. They know the whole fucking thing is a grift. They know that the thing we're looking at right here, that this chatbot woman is fucking, it's stupid and is not going to get anywhere. And it's so cynical. That's what I keep going back to that word, cynical. You know, because
it is.
Everybody knows exactly what the fuck this is, and it's sickening.
It feels, a lot of these products feel like things that are made for the people that tech CEOs think exist. Like there is so obviously this massive disconnect between the lived experience of people and their needs and the products that are being produced and pushed at places like CES. I think that there are a couple of problems. One of the major problems that you find is that a lot of gadgets are made specifically for people who live in the Bay Area. And Mike,
Is that what's going on, really?
oh yeah. In fact, I want to give you 2 examples.
Can I guess one of them? Can I guess one of them?
Yeah, sure.
It's like a feces radar system. So when like you're walking down the sidewalk, it can detect poop on the sidewalk, so you can sidestep it. Like it does like poop alert, instead of just like using your eyes, you know. But I mean, there's so much shit on the floor in the Bay Area that I think you actually like that could actually be a useful product. I've never been to the Bay Area. Yeah. This is just what I've heard.
Yeah, train AI to try to track shit on the street so that you don't step in it. You're training it on tons of photographs of shit.
It uses
this
like
is what shit looks like.
Google Maps to give you like real-time shit data. Like it watches people, you can see people shitting on the street, and then it updates the app in real time. It's kind of like the traffic apps. Left here, beware massive log in sidewalk.
I think that we've beat this dead AI horse for long enough. I think that the point is made. Everything has AI. Everything claims nay. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, you did it to yourself.
Yeah. The products that are supposedly incremental improvements that are supposed to make your life a little bit better are things like this. It is a battery charger that charges your phone in 2 seconds, which A, sounds dangerous, B, sounds impossible. And the good news is that you're right on both counts. The good news is that number 1 is irrelevant because number 2 is false. This is a little box that just swaps your phone battery.
Oh, so it's just straight
it's
up.
An external battery.
Okay.
It's an external battery that just takes out your old battery and puts in a new battery.
I can see a slight, maybe, utility in this. I mean, all you got to do to not need this product ever is plug your damn phone in. I will be honest with you, as somebody who kind of suffers from ADHD, I do have a hard time remembering to. I walk around with a dead phone a lot, unfortunately. I'm that guy.
But Mike, and that's fine, and that's fine, right? It is fine to have that problem, but the problem is, why do you need a box to swap the battery for you when you have hands?
Going back to that, huh? Well, I mean, okay, can I play devil's advocate here?
You can. Okay. I would love to hear an argument that makes this thing even half worth it.
It's like a sci-fi high-tech toaster, which is cool.
Okay.
Right? Who doesn't want to have like a Jetsons toaster? All right. It doesn't look retro futuristic enough to be a Jetsons toaster, but it's a freaking fancy, what is that? A Fruitiger Algero, whatever the fuck, Fruitiger. You know what I'm talking about? It's a sleek little. Don't worry about it. It's a sleek.
Mike, I have no idea what you're talking about. It sounds like you're having a stroke.
Yeah, I am having a stroke of genius. Now listen.
Okay.
It is a sleek, sexy phone toaster that.
Okay.
Probably doesn't explode randomly for no reason. Probably.
It's got like 5 batteries in there.
I mean, it could, but I mean, I trust these people, right? And I mean, hey, it's got okay, I hate this fucking thing. If I see this in somebody's house, I'm shitting directly into that hole. I am shitting directly into it.
And this is the point. This does not solve a problem.
Nope.
This is a solved problem. If you have an external battery, right? These external batteries for phones exist. If your battery runs out, you swap the battery. And this isn't even an ADHD problem, right? Because if you forget to change your battery on your phone case, you're going to forget to use your battery swapper too.
Yeah, it just extends the issue. It's similar to the reason why write stuff in a calendar when I'm not going to look at it, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, right. Except I actually look at my calendar. The problem is I don't put things in the first place. But that's not the point. That's beyond the
You did
point.
say that. Yeah.
The problem that I see is that this just adds more moving parts to your life.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just old-fashioned, but I'm the kind of person who wants to remove as many moving parts from my life as possible.
Yeah.
Because more moving parts means more things that can break.
More points of failure.
Exactly.
More inconvenience, more stress, more annoyances, more little jobs for yourself. Got to get this fixed. Got to get that fixed.
Right. If I am, and this is a problem as well with smart refrigerators. And I can shout out Technology Connections, great YouTube channel, by the way, who talked about this. Refrigerators are practically a modern day necessity. We keep food in our refrigerators and, it keeps the food better longer. And if something goes wrong with the refrigerator, your life kind of has to stop to fix it.
Sometimes you got thousands of dollars of food in there. Just going to let it rot. You got to, that
Right,
becomes
exactly.
your number one priority.
Right, exactly. Like I'm going to have to take a day off of work to either buy a new refrigerator or wait for the refrigerator repairman to get here, or like I need to be here to get the part, like yada yada, right? Your life stops and your refrigerator breaks.
With that in mind, let's hook it up to Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
Right.
Wi-Fi, insanely, like Wi-Fi is
Jesus
insanely unreliable. Wi-Fi is an amazing technology, but it is also inherent, like its complexity makes it unreliable.
Yeah.
A smart refrigerator is not going to be so easily repaired. Right? You have introduced more points of failure to your life for a thing that really should be reliable.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a little computer in there now. It's got to get firmware updates. Sorry, all your food rotted because something went wrong with the firmware update.
Right.
Oh God, please tell me that thing's not running Windows. Oh God.
I think they tend to run Linux. But that's my guess. That's just a guess.
I guess that makes me feel slightly better.
Running proprietary programs, so don't worry. There's still some fuck shit in there.
Yeah, and again, you gotta call like their people to come out and fix it, right? Like you're not calling like the local like Jeff the refrigerator repair guy to come by and sit there. He's gonna be sitting there being like, well, I don't know nothing about no damn computers. And then you're going to have to get this asshole to fly in from fucking Cupertino.
Right.
You got to get a guy from the fucking Genius Bar to come in and fix your refrigerator. Fuck you.
And then what happens when they stop updating?
Well, then you got a fucking like $8,000 paperweight, buddy.
Right.
Yeah.
They just say, oh no, like this just doesn't work anymore. You want to know a funny little side problem with smart devices as well?
What's that?
They are extremely commonly used for DDoS attacks because their security tends to be quite lax.
Oh, great.
And so they will be hacked.
They DDoSed
and
my
then
refrigerator.
used. Well, no, it's not that the devices themselves are getting DDoSed. It's that they become points that access
other shit,
things that are getting DDoSed.
Right,
they are the weapon.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's security
and
risk.
they have bad security.
Yeah.
Right. They are used as the weapon for a DDoS attack.
Man.
Lots of these devices are. They're all used to make tons and tons of requests very quickly. You have a bunch of smart devices all hacked, and their owners have no idea.
I don't know. I think the refrigerator could be more dangerous than you're giving it credit for. Like, say the hacker gets in there.
That's true.
And he starts shooting ice out of the ice maker and like hitting you in the face, and then you slip on it and you die. It is Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive.
Simpsons episode?
Well, I think the Simpsons episode is based on Maximum Overdrive.
It's spoofed to that. But you see my point, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's more points that can potentially have friction. Along that line, there are things that don't make your life worse, but they don't make them better either. Please take your time to look at this, the fufu. It is a piece of silicone with a fan in it that blows air onto your hot drink.
Oh my God. The foo-foo. How about you go foo-foo fuck yourself?
I think you can see the problem, right?
Yeah, man.
If
Your hot drink is too hot. Your soup
right.
is too hot. Allow me to introduce you to the radical new concept of time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm sure that's part of the selling point. Like, not everybody has time to wait 2.5 minutes for their coffee to be a drinkable temperature. That's why we've invented the foo-foo. Am I right? Is that what's...
I see. That's the thing, is that's not even how they sell it, because it's going to take the same amount of time anyway if you just blow on it.
I do not envy this woman's job. I do not envy the job of selling an utterly fucking useless product.
Either.
God, she must have like several existential crises. Crises
For
every shift.
For reference, we are probably putting some images of the foo-foo on screen. But to illustrate this point, I am showing Mike footage of CNET's TikTok.
At least they're cute.
Well, this is the weird thing.
Why don't they have eyes?
Right?
Wait,
like,
why don't they have eyes?
They don't have eyes.
Oh, why?
Yeah, right?
Why would you make that? Why would you make that design choice?
Because
now they're just
then
upsetting.
it would be more expensive to make.
The eyes would have been more
expensive.
expensive.
Upsetting that they don't have eyes.
Like it was already kind of weird, but
now see, the thing that really bothers me about this is that this is a product for nobody, because you can blow on your hot drink. And if you are incapable of blowing on your hot drink, then you cannot breathe and you are dead.
It's a product for dead people.
It's a
well, maybe I could see a situation where somebody is disabled with some lung condition or something, and then maybe they... But that's just so fucking niche and rare.
I feel like they have bigger problems than blowing on their hot drinks at that point.
Right. Like you're on an oxygen tank. I mean, let me ask you this, though. You drink a lot of tea.
Yes.
You ever feel like the tea's too hot, so you blow on it? You ever do that?
On occasion?
On occasion. Really? Because I don't...
Yeah.
Because here's my take. I think that the blowing on the hot soup or tea or coffee or whatever to cool it down doesn't kind of really do anything, does it? Like...
Well, it does. It definitely does.
You think? Okay.
No, it does.
I mean, imperceptibly, though?
No, it is perceptible, right? It more quickly cools down your hot drink, but
okay.
I will say, if you have a hot drink in a mug, it's going to cool off to a drinkable temperature relatively quickly. And fortunately, if a drink is a little bit too hot, we have invented a technique called slurping.
Yeah, the slurp.
Which is fine. Nobody is that bothered by someone slurping a hot drink a couple of times while it's still cooling down. I hope that my annoyance at this thing, this is like $25, by the way.
That's it?
Yeah.
Imagine you just being like a rich investor guy, and you're like, oh, that's a hit. Oh, here's $1 million. Here's $1 million. 1 million. You know what? Fuck it. $2 million to the creepy little thing.
2 million
that hangs on the side of your cup and blows air into it. By the way, where's the intake valve, his asshole?
I actually don't know.
Like, air's got to somehow find its way to get into this thing.
It does.
So that means it's probably got a little anus where the air goes in.
It has to be. It has to have a little silicone booty hole.
Yeah, this is really infuriating, Fred. This fucking sucks. And this is, again, an expo that is supposed to show you the cutting edge of tomorrow.
Right, or at least a product that someone would hypothetically want.
We're fucked, aren't we? We're cooked, as the kids say. Right? We're cooked.
This is landfill.
Landfill fodder. Durf is back! I can't believe it, folks. We got 2 celebrity appearances during this stream. We got Fred Knudsen and we got Durf. Oh my God, dude. It's a party now. Let's go.
There is another thing that feels very similar,
Okay.
which is just a little thing. Now, this little thing called Mirumi apparently has AI in it because it has cameras in its eyes and it looks for faces to look at.
Okay, like my phone does that. My phone does that.
Yeah.
Your fucking VTuber Studio does that.
This is a little thing that you wrap around your, I don't know, your arm, and it costs $70.
Well, you know what it is? It kind of sounds like at the 2025 Expo, and I'm going to assume the 2024 Expo. You couldn't get in the door if the thing you were trying to hawk didn't involve AI. So whether or not it actually did, you had to say it did. Like, well, by the way, did the fufu contain AI?
No, it's just a little. It's a fan in plastic, Mike.
They didn't try to say it.
They couldn't even
it
try.
uses
No,
AI. I could fucking write the copy. Like, it uses AI to determine the temperature of the tea and how hard it needs to blow on the tea to cool it down. Like, I could have fucking lied and worked AI into that. But we're not talking about that thing. We're talking about this thing. So it's a little sloth.
Yeah, it's a little sloth that grabs on and looks at you.
Can we get audio for this one? Because I feel like what she's saying is...
Mike, I'm going to let you in on this now.
Yeah, let me in.
It's deranged.
I have a feeling it might be. That's why I asked, because I saw the captions. I saw them. I saw.
This is completely
Why
deranged.
do you need this? Because we all need a little joy. You know when you see something cute and it just makes you smile? That's literally the business model here. They're saying if it brings you happiness,
Can you
just to
pause
see
it, Fred?
something cute, and you pass that.
That's how I feel about you.
Oh.
You know when you see something cute and it makes you smile? That's how I feel about you, Fred.
Moo.
That's what I was hoping you would do that. That was what I was hoping you would do. Yay, we got him to do. He said the thing. Bart, say the thing.
In post, can we have the clip?
Basically, we found Fred as a cow.
Good moo! Oh, you found your moo! Good job! Where'd that come from?
Chat's like, I don't understand. Why is that Fred Knudsen as a cow? It didn't bring up 9/11 at all. You want me to put the clip in there? All right.
People are going to be so lost. Like, I want you to know that people were coming to my stream demanding to hear me do the moo.
I'm so sorry. I knew
the
they
gay
would
little moo.
I knew it would probably happen, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, it was probably like kind of annoying him. But ladies and gentlemen, you could stop annoying him because he did the moo. We will give you the context when I edit this. But yeah, you were right. This is fucking insane. And I keep getting the impression over and over again that these people that are working this convention are really desperate. They're not okay. I'm getting weird vibes from all of them.
No, the desperation is palpable. Yeah. They had another correspondent. I didn't mean for this to be a let's make fun of CNET podcast.
Why, is she the journalist?
I'm sorry. It's just, well, she's one of them. They sent another person. Like, there was one person that they sent to all of the booths where you have to put something in your mouth, and he always just looks displeased. I think it might just be how he naturally looks, but he always looks displeased having to put things in his mouth.
Can I say something in regards to you saying we didn't mean for this to be bashing CNET? I don't think CNET is like necessarily like an evil publication. We're not trying to say they're bad.
I don't think so either.
We're not trying to say they're bad guys, but Fred, they are part of the ecosystem that we've been criticizing this entire podcast. They are the journalism arm.
They're a part of the ecosystem.
Of the ecosystem that is part of the fucking problem here. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting that out there. So. They're saying if it... Yeah, okay, let me see.
Happiness on to someone else in your day. You're passing happiness through the world, and you're making the world a better place with this little baby Chewbacca thing. I don't know what it is, but it just looks cute. and it's randomly going to be moving around, and you hook it on to different things. Maybe you hook it on
Is she
your
gonna
purse,
cry?
or you give yourself a little hug right here. No, can't do that. Can't do that. But you gotta have a little more secure. There's pink.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
and this is my kind of fashion accessory. It's like a little surprise. Oh, it moved. Surprise. Are you smiling? Are you happy?
I'm smiling.
You never know what you're going to find at CES.
She talks like someone who only 5 minutes prior received horrifically bad news.
She's trying not to cry the entire thing. Yeah, it's insane.
Right.
She's just desperately trying to keep it together for the sake of her career. This thing is more landfill fodder.
I feel like this is the kind of thing that I would find at like when I was in elementary school, right? My parents were pretty strict about the kinds of things that they would buy for me.
Yeah.
And I remember being kind of annoyed that my parents wouldn't buy me this thing or that thing. But it's just like, okay, they won't buy it for me. It's fine. I got over it pretty quick. And I remember the more people's houses I visited that were just filled with clutter like this,
Yeah.
the more thankful I was for the way that my parents were raising me. I was so thankful to not have a house filled with landfill like this.
Yeah. Ugly, bad financial decision making.
Right, like things that maybe bring joy for the 30 minutes after
Literal
performing
30 minutes.
the financial transaction. Yeah.
I love the way it clings on to you. I imagine. Can I say one of the darkest things I think has ever entered my mind
sure.
during
Sure.
my content creating career? You buy this for a little kid, and you give it to him, and then you wake up the next day and you see that it was wrapped around his neck and cut off the circulation and airflow. Like, I can see this thing killing your child. Yeah, this thing couldn't kill your child. Like, I don't know how tight those arms can get, but I don't trust it. I don't know. Skynet, we got ice cubes getting shot across the room, right? We got little sloth things that'll kill you, right? It's always good to have a nice, healthy paranoia about this technology, man. I mean, if I've learned anything from science fiction, and Elon Musk. But no, I'm not. I hate that I said that.
I have a palate cleanser.
Okay.
I have a palate cleanser for you.
Cleanse me.
I want to show you something completely useless. This is Mimo.
Meet Mimo, a general purpose AI robot.
From the company Jizay.
Yeah, all right. So does it...
I understand it's supposed to be like Jiz AI or something, but that's not a whole lot better.
Is this a comedy item? Like, is this...
I don't know. I don't know.
Does it know
this
what
thing is just supposed?
Does it know what? Do they know what they're doing? Are they self-aware with this? Is this supposed to be a gag or?
I don't know. Like, this is a product that they are selling.
The idea is it walks around
and
it supplies light. It's a light source, a walking light source.
A light source, like, I guess it's a table. Like, you remember in the new Dune movie how they had like the human table or whatever?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's like that, except worse, because it can barely walk. Look, the big selling point of this AI-powered table is that it can walk, and it can barely walk.
Oh my God, no! I actually love this thing. I'm going to tell you what I would do with it.
It sucks so bad.
No, this is the best thing that you've showed me. I'm going to tell you why. I am putting a plant on that, and I'm going to have a plant that's basically like a dog. You remember the character from Risk of Rain? That was that. Remember that character?
Oh yeah.
I would recreate that character and he would be my best buddy. He walks around, he stares at me. He's a plant. That's pretty much it, I guess.
Well, see, here's the problem. Look how unstable that table is. That plant is getting knocked off.
There's going to be dirt all over the place
It's going to get
constantly.
jostled
Yeah,
off. Come on. It's not even stable.
I mean,
like,
it's
if it had
utterly
those
fucking
6
useless.
legs in order to provide stable movement, sure, I could see that. But it's very clearly not stable. It's not stable. It's not fast.
I mean,
What is this?
This is the encapsulation of everything we've been looking at. It's utterly fucking useless.
Yeah.
It's impractical. It's a gimmick It's a gag, really.
Yeah.
What are you going to be? I mean, here's the use case, I think. You're sitting on the couch and you're like, Jizzy, whatever his name is. Jizzy, bring me a cold beer. And then this thing is going to walk over to you. Oh, sorry, Mimo. And then it's going to walk over to you with a cold beer. Yeah, how's it getting the cold beer out of the refrigerator and putting it on itself and then making it over to you without falling over, stumbling, and spilling the fucking beer everywhere?
Right, and then this is kind of the problem that you run into. Like, it's too generalized to do what it does well, but it's too specific to be useful.
Right.
It falls into this awful valley where it just has no use case.
But again, it goes back to this. It's the business model of that money was a gamble. It was an investment. It was a kind of a gamble / investment to try to catch the eye of somebody with way more money than they have, who wants to come in and give them enough to recoup what they spent on it because they believe in the future of this stupidity.
Right. I just imagine a Mark Zuckerberg alike walking through CES, looking down at this thing with his pale face, pointing at it and saying, "People want that, right?"
Right, but that's it. It's not even that the people investing in it think it's a good idea. It's that, like, how they think that other people are dumb enough to think that it's a good idea.
I might be a little bit biased because the way that I make down the rabbit hole is I think, what do I want to see? Right? Like, it's not what do I want to make, it's what do I want to see that I also would enjoy making. And then I make it and people like it. Turns out there are people who like the things I do, and it's not like there's not a lot of it on YouTube. But it's like these people never hit that phase of asking themselves, like, what do I want? Like, what would I want?
The only question that was asked at all here with any of these products was, how do we get investor money?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do investors think people want?
That was the starting point of every conversation.
It kind of feels like investors are this other alien race who are so divorced from humanity that, like, they don't understand.
It's probably true, Fred. You know, when people have that much
they're
money,
divorced from the everyday lives of ordinary people to such a degree that they cannot conceive of what the ordinary person might spend money on.
Yeah, it's
and you
wild.
know, Mike, there is a way to get around this problem. Just make shit for rich people. Would you like to see one of the pieces of shit made for rich people?
I kind of feel like all of this was made for rich people, but sure. Let me see this man-made horror beyond my comprehension.
Take a look at the Arrow, the flying car that was shown off at CES. This is effectively a quadcopter.
Yeah, again,
that
already
you can
existed.
fly around.
What
you
is
get
that,
in there.
man?
This does. Oh, we'll get there.
my
We'll get there, Mike. We'll get to what that truck is in a second. First, I would like to point out that this thing looks like it's made out of the same plastic that's used for Transformer toys.
Is it supposed to be metal?
I think it's plastic.
It looks like Legos plastic.
Well, it has to be plastic because it has to be lightweight. Because
it has to be lightweight to fly.
It can't add too much more weight because there's going to be a human in that cab. Humans, plural, too.
It's the sheen, right, of the plastic. It's the sheen of it that makes it look like a very...
This does not look stable.
That's a death trap, isn't it? Does this thing actually... Does it get off the ground? Like, do they...
Allegedly, obviously they didn't demo it in here, but I believe it has been demoed.
What was the then, frankly, what was the fucking point of bringing it here?
They're showing it off. Like, apparently they have a bunch of pre-orders and they're going to go into production in a couple of years. allegedly, right? Like all of this is allegedly.
Oh, all of it's allegedly. Yeah, I
you
mean
know,
that's gonna
take everything
no, that's
they
gonna
say with a
be
grain of salt.
taking investor money and tearing ass out of there. Like,
Oh,
no
yeah.
way. Can you imagine again, like just the regulatory nightmare and the bureaucracy and the getting this fucking
Right.
approved and then having there being like a legal infrastructure for people to fly these around? They're like, because you can't just fucking fly anything anywhere you want, man.
Right.
You know, there's
this
like
is
airspace and things like that. You know, like
Right.
legal airspace.
I think that they've kind of solved some of those problems. I watched a video where they said they are seeking permission to let these things fly in China. Um, I I will say that this gives off Ocean Gate vibes.
But in the reverse, be like Skygate. Yeah. Well, it's gonna be Ground Gate. It's gonna be crashing into somebody's fucking house gate.
Right. Like I really am so glad that all of these tech bros are creating new ways to make mini 911s.
Of course, he brings up 9/11 again. Oh my god! If anybody out there is playing Fred Knudsen bingo,
What
man,
else is
you
this for?
are having the best day ever. Bingo!
It's like have you ever wanted to perform have you ever wanted to do your own 9/11 but just don't have the budget? Here you go. Try this.
Oh,
And I think
man.
there, as a bonus, there is a truck specifically made to load that thing into, that also acts as a charger.
Because guess what, Fred? Once again, you still have to drive. Amazingly, again, it hasn't innovated anything. You need to there's a fucking special car that you need to drive. Because apparently, why did you buy this thing? Why did you buy this thing? Because you don't want to fucking drive around in a car.
This is not for transport. This is a toy for rich people.
If it were me, and it's not me, but if it were, the ultimate end game of this would be, this is a consumer, and at the end of the fucking line, ultimately, it becomes a consumer product that you use to fly around because you're trying to avoid traffic. You're trying to fucking avoid, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying the idea that you still have to be in a car is insane. It shouldn't. Oh my God. I'm sorry. This is just making me so mad. Oh my God.
This is explicitly a toy.
Marketed
the whole
as a
point of
toy.
the truck,
Yes,
it is marketed as a toy. That
It's a little
truck is so
helicopter.
you can drive to an open field where you can launch the thing and fly around for a little while.
With its fucking 2.5 minutes of battery life, I'm sure.
I think it was like 40 minutes, they said, but there is
Really?
no goddamn way. I do not
Can I say-
believe that
it-
battery
but-
life for a second.
But listen to this, man. If you're this rich, if you're this obscenely rich, by the way, you notice how that vehicle echoes the Cybertruck?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
If you're this insanely fucking rich, you just buy a helicopter, bro. You buy a helicopter, you have a helicopter, and you have somebody that you hire to pilot the helicopter.
Right. I feel like this is only in the price range of a certain threshold of wealth.
And it's not that, and it's not what I just said. It's below that.
Right. Well, I think that I'm agreeing with you. It's above that.
It's about
like who is apparently they have 3,000 pre-orders. I don't know. I guess they found a market.
3,000
also,
pre-orders.
by the way, they're showing a Mashable showed this video.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way in hell that you would ever want to fly this thing in anything but the absolute calmest winds possible, and you are not going to do that over the ocean. Like,
listen, nobody tell the billionaires that are buying this. This is just going to end up with. That's why you said it's like Ocean Gate, because the end result of this is going to be a bunch of dead billionaires.
what is it with the Italians?
Right.
Not going any farther into that joke. I'm not going any farther. Mamma mia. I am not taking that joke any farther.
Shush your mouth. That's no good for the podcast. So taking the again, I mean, if there's a silver lining here, but yeah, we'll move on from that.
Right.
It's a death trap. It's a fucking
100%.
death trap.
Yeah, are you kidding me? Like, this thing is going to kill. no less than 5% of the people who use it, if not way more.
And when I see it in flight, it just strikes me it's all it is a giant
It seems to
drone.
have 6, so it's not a quadcopter, it's like a hexacopter.
Do you happen to know the price point of this by any chance? Have you seen
Let me check.
how much does it cost?
Hold on. Let me check. I think that CNET said potentially. Let me take
That's
a
a
look.
really
Just
fucking
taking 2
scary
seconds.
thing. Holy shit.
That this is not a concept. It's going into production next year, and they expect it to cost less than $300,000.
Okay.
So if you got that kind of money,
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah.
Now,
All
if
right,
you'll
so
excuse
I mean
me,
that,
I'm going to take off.
and you learn how to fly it yourself. How many times you fall off your bicycle while you were learning how to ride a bicycle, Fred?
Well, when I was learning how to ride my bicycle,
Mm-hmm.
I was not being buffeted by winds.
Yeah, was your bicycle several thousand feet in the air, and
Not
did it cost
generally, no.
Did it cost $300,000? Fred, can I derf a little bit? Can I
Yeah,
actually?
sure,
Can we
sure.
get dark here for a second? Now,
Yeah, all right.
if
I'm listening.
anybody, if anybody out there listening doesn't want to feel uncomfy, then maybe you want to skip ahead a minute or two. But it occurs to me that as we enter into this era of they're calling it like tech oligarchy, and you have
Right.
this insane the wealth inequality is going to get to a point where the only way that companies are going to be able to stay in business and continue to make profit is by designing products and marketing products to and selling products to the very small number of obscenely wealthy people that will have all of this country's capital, or I guess the global
I am
capital.
so glad I am not the only person who has considered this. Like, if there's no money in the lower classes, why make anything for them?
Why will they make anything for them? Why will they market anything to those people? Don't have any money. Who the fuck
Yeah,
are we
all the
selling
money's
to?
been siphoned off from them.
They're all broke. So now these companies are going to have to pivot to making obscenely
To
expensive
get a little
toys.
real, like, I say them, but like us.
Oh yeah, it's us. It's
Like,
us. I don't know why I'm saying
to-
them. It's yeah.
Well, it's because I think we try to look at things from an external perspective, but we're talking about us at the
Yeah,
end of the
that's
day.
us.
Like,
We're-
we
we're the-
are
we're the-
involved in this.
It's us, and most likely, I'm going to assume pretty much everybody listening
We're
to
having
this.
I think we should improve society somewhat. Yet you participate in society. How curious.
That's
we're
us
having
right
kind of
now.
that moment right now.
And I think within the next couple of decades, you're going to just see that shift to companies manufacturing products for one demographic, marketing things to one demographic. And it's going to be the obscenely wealthy, because no one else will be able to afford anything. Me and you, Fred, will not be able to afford anything.
Welcome to Technosurfdom.
Yeah. So that was the part where I knew that was going to be depressing before I said it, but we are looking at an early example of it happening right now. So, I mean, I'm calling this as the beginning of it.
It's
right
kind of
here.
nice to hear that I'm not the only person who has considered this. I don't know. Just hearing it from you.
Well, I've been thinking it for a while, and watching this video is learning about this product has, just made me think about all that shit.
It's hard not to think about when you're looking at CES. Like, CES is a really dismal place.
You made me realize it when I was like, oh, well, the point, the point is you want to fucking, market this to the consumer. And you're like, no. And I'm like, oh, yeah, because of everything I just said. Right.
Right.
Well, I'm depressed now.
I would like to get specific. So now I'm going to let you laugh at me because there is another automobile that was on show at CES.
All
It's
right.
a solar-powered car.
Okay.
This, in particular, pisses me off to no end.
But why? It's eco-friendly.
Mike, when I was a wee lad,
Yeah.
a boy, no higher, no taller than an acorn,
Right, you were a preemie.
I
huh?
saw renderings and concepts for solar-powered cars.
Yeah, they were
These
floating around.
things have been in the works for decades.
Yep.
I don't think that some random tech company came up with a solar powered car and they came out with no fanfare, right? Like, there is no way. Literally, all they did to try to sell this is they put, okay, so first of all, those little solar cells, not nearly enough to charge something like this for like
Yep.
in any speedy amount of time.
Yeah, not even close.
Second of all, this thing, the only way that they allow it to have any distance, right? Is that it's insanely light, right? The fact that it has 3 wheels, I'm sure, is to reduce the weight. But the only other time I can think of someone trying to bring a 3-wheeled car to America, it was a scam, and then they changed genders in order to hide from the IRS.
That sounds like a whole rabbit hole. We don't have time
That
for
is
it.
an entire rabbit hole. I think it's called the Dale. That is a huge rabbit hole. Yeah. Like, it is way more than that.
There's a couple rabbit holes here, actually. I mean, you have the all the conspiracy theories surrounding the auto industry and the energy industry and the people getting disappeared and I've invented a car that runs on water and all that shit,
Right.
Guy,
That's classic.
fucking people getting silenced and bought out, and kind of goes back to that a little bit too.
Mhm.
But I think what you're kind of going towards here is this product is completely useless.
It's not even that it's useless, it's that all of the problems they're trying to solve have been solved before.
I like how it has a nitrous button.
Yeah, right.
It's about
Despite
verbal.
being electric.
Yeah.
I do not believe that they have solved all of the problems around solar-powered cars. Another problem, one of the things that really, to me, screams that this is just another car that's going to die in concept is that they are touting that it is 70% more aerodynamic.
Cars
Mike,
don't fly, man.
Aerodynamics on cars are not that big of an issue nowadays. There is not much energy saving to be had by making a car more aerodynamic. Not unless you're hitting hundreds of miles per hour.
Right, it's fucking silly. Yeah, it's just it's a
Right,
moot
like,
point completely. Yeah.
There's a reason that you don't see cars pushing to be more aerodynamic to like make them faster. It's not a big deal.
You don't need to go fast. Are we making a race car
Right?
here?
No, explicitly, this thing does not have a very large range. It has a small battery, right? Like, they keep costs down by having a very small battery. And a couple of other problems, right? This thing is light. Vehicles that are too light and have no other compensatory measures have a bad habit of rolling over and losing in accidents.
I mean, it's got no counterweight to it. The thing is, once again, we're looking at another death trap.
Yeah, this is not practical in the slightest.
This is just like the death trap convention. Like, this is where you go to sell the prototypes of your fancy death traps to kill people.
There is so much more garbage here, like a Roomba with an arm to pick up socks in the way. Like, there is garbage like this for days.
It dropped that one because it was crusty.
Yeah, it did.
I don't know. I could pick it
all
up.
This.
I mean,
right. It's all of these things that are supposed to be exciting are. I can't
a disabled
see myself
person
using
maybe
them.
could benefit from the sock.
Again, disabled people are generally a disadvantaged class of people, and so making expensive solutions for the problems of disabled people is kind of a non-starter. I could go on a whole rant, and I did on my stream at one point, talking about how cyborg arms for disabled people just really are often not an effective solution for missing an arm or missing a leg or missing something, right? Like at least 40% of people who have them just don't use them.
Wow. I didn't know. That's
Yeah,
crazy. Okay.
that's the lower end.
Let me ask you a question about this robot that we're looking at. It's got little fingers, and it picks up the socks, and it does and it does what
It
with
takes
them?
them over to a predetermined area.
Oh, it moves to another part of the
Y-
room
Yeah,
and then puts them into a big pile of clothes that someone's gonna have
yeah.
to clean up anyway eventually, right?
I'm
Like, I
glad that
just
you're
like,
starting to really
fucking
understand
Jesus
the
Christ.
point of CES.
Yeah, what
You're
a
really
what a
getting it.
stupid fucking
I f-
oh
and
dumbass
that's
fucking thing. Oh
we
my
could go
god.
on and on. We could go on
You
and
got
on
more of
like
these? Let me
this,
see a few
but
more of these. I'm enjoying this.
oh my god. Okay,
Let me
let's see.
show me hit me with your best shot. I want to see the dumbest things they had there.
Yeah, sure. How about the massage chair that looks like it's made to break your arms?
Oh my god, no. That shit would snap your legs. Are you kidding me?
It looks like the femur breaker.
It's the femur it's the femur breaker. Oh, dude, she's turning. It looks like fucking Bumblebee from the Transformers.
hmm
Yeah, that's gonna rip her fucking arms off, dude.
They claim that this thing has
Oh my
AI
god.
to change the. Like,
Of
that's the
course it
thing
has
is,
fucking AI. They all do.
they all claim to, but really they're just programs, right? They can't call them programs. They have to call them AI, because else nobody's going to pay attention. Oh, regular stuff has programs. Oh, my
Dude,
boring computer at home has programs, but this has AI.
yeah, it's AI. She literally just said in the caption, she was like, "I'm Bumblebee." Like she actually said it. Like, I swear to God, she said it like right after I said it.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's funny. Did you see her socks? By the way, this is important. Go back and so you can see her socks.
Oh no, let's see.
Yeah, look at her feet. What's going on? In
Oh,
her feet?
that's Charmander.
That's
She has
Charmander
Charmander
socks.
socks.
She's like 43.
I don't know. I think that's legit. Liking Pokemon.
I'm just being a
43
dick.
is shit.
I'm just being a dick.
There is so much more that I could show you, but the problem is that they all tend to be new renditions of the problems that we already have seen. Like, this is a robot arm that makes you latte art.
At least this thing has a purpose beyond being just a general like nothing. I don't get me wrong. It is pointless ultimately,
hmm
but at least it's like got a function, an identifiable function. I feel.
Yeah, this is the problem. Again, like, on the surface, it feels like it has a function, but the moment you begin to interrogate it, it stops having that function. So
Someone had
let's
to make the
interrogate this
coffee
a little bit.
and put it there. Right.
Well,
Is there-
it can make the coffee, right? Like,
It
this
can
is
make
a
the
thing
coffee.
that can make
Okay.
a coffee from start to finish. But
Mhm.
here's the problem. If this is for home use, okay, I guess. Like, this can be a toy for a rich person. But the way that it's set up, this looks more like something that would be a barista at a coffee shop. But as
Yeah,
you
you're
can see,
replacing all of the Starbucks employees with these.
right, but
Yeah.
this arm is so slow. And it is an arm, right? Like, it's trying to mimic a human for something that is better suited to having more specialized equipment. And you're seeing how slow it is trying to actually make this latte art. And then you run into the problem as well with the fact that this thing is going to need maintenance, specialized maintenance. I'm not convinced that this is actually much better, cheaper than a human.
proprietary technology, baby.
Right, you will need a ton of these, that or a very low volume place.
You can't see a scenario where Starbucks makes the devil's bargain to have like 6 of these installed in every single one of their locations, and then a contract with this company to come by and make sure they're maintained all the time, so they can fire every single employee, which except maybe like a management guy on
The
on
irony
staff.
is that they don't even save money because they have to spend so much money on repair people to come out here and make sure that everything's okay. And that's not even starting with the problem that the devices like these
Yeah.
have a remarkably high rate of being damaged by humans because they're not humans. Like a human will have a little bit more trepidation attacking another human, but if it's a robot, they'll just reach over the counter and snap the thing. They'll break something off of it. They'll manhandle it.
It'd be fun.
This is a consistent problem with self-driving cars.
Yeah, well, this is fucking bleak, man. I don't know. This one, I feel like you can have a simplified version of that making the lattes. Like, I feel like we're seeing a very sophisticated, quote unquote, sophisticated example
Right.
of that right now. Because Starbucks doesn't need to make the little, the little designs in the milk with the milk.
Well, you're
You
seeing
know.
a sophisticated solution to
Yeah,
a simple problem, which is making coffee.
Right. Again, it's not like it's that hard to do.
No, it is not making anybody's lives easier tangibly. It's just another worse way of doing something. Why try to sell it? What possible, like, the use case has to be quite niche. Like, I look at these things and I don't understand where they're supposed to be. Delta
Yeah.
Airlines also was at CES and for some reason had Lenny Kravitz performing. And they were at the Sphere in Vegas. Yeah.
I know why. Because of the song. He says, I want to fly away, fly
Oh, okay.
away. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it's, planes, right?
Cool. Great.
Yeah. It's,
Delta has a whole setup, like trying to get you to do everything through them, book the hotel through them with their AI assistants, and then
I'm
book
sure
your
that
flight
helps.
with
Oh.
them, right?
I'm
Again,
sure that's
it
great.
is it's a microcosm of the smart home, right? We will do every step of the process for you and use this AI to try to figure out what it is that you really want, which is silly. It's the smart home problem again. You don't necessarily want everything in one place. And in fact, this is a problem that tech has run into over and over again. There have been attempts to create everything apps that, like, an app that does literally everything for you on smartphones. And the
Okay.
problem is that consumers consistently gravitate toward having different apps for each thing they need done. People don't want an all-in-one, no matter how bad Silicon Valley wants it. Silicon Valley wants all-in-one applications because then they can nickel and dime you every step of the way as soon as you become ingrained into their ecosystem. Apple, everyone looks at Apple and says, we want to stick everyone into our ecosystem. We want to do what Apple did. And consistently, like, even Apple
horrifying.
has to let other apps into their app store because people just don't want an Apple everything.
That is
Yeah.
horrifying. I hate Apple. I hate that how they do things. And it is explained so much. They're trying to trap you.
Yeah.
Right. It goes back to that, that, like, which is the digital serfdom or whatever the fuck you said.
Technosurfdom, I think, is what I called it.
Me and you, we till the fucking soil for Google.
We do.
We till the soil for Amazon.
The soil of our viewers' minds.
We're the serfs, bro. It's fucking gross. I
We
hate
are
it.
the dwarfs in the fortress. By the time this podcast comes out, the new video on Dwarf Fortress will.
I'm definitely going to get into a Fey mood and make a statue of Fred as a cow mooing sensually, and then put it on my little table and have it walk around the house, showing everybody the beautiful creation. And then one day it's going to look up at me and it's going to say, Master, Creator, what is my purpose? And it's going to be like the butter robot from Rick and Morty.
You pass butter. Oh my!
And it's
God.
gonna kill itself by ramming into a wall repeatedly until it malfunctions, which shouldn't be too
This is
hard.
an expertly designed image of a twink. The twink is mooing. Mike, thank you so much for indulging my brain rot on this. I have been so fascinated by the foibles of Silicon Valley for, at this point, years. I've just kind of been passively keeping an eye on it for years, and it is absolutely fascinating to me.
Thank you for letting me foible your foibles gently.
My foibles are gesticulating.
Have your foibles been sufficiently gesticulated?
They have, yes. By an AI-powered foibler.
That's 2026 Consumer Expo.
Let's go.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap this
To
bitch
those
up.
of you who enjoyed our rambling, you are a special kind. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for listening, guys. Fred, thanks again for having me. Thank you, everybody who's made this a success. And a very special, big ol' fuck you to Silicon Valley, today's sponsor. All right.
Yeah.
I guess.
We both get blacklisted from everything forever after this.
I'll edit it out. Okay, good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Laters.